Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Page 150. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu Uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha Uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam balayla behavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. On pages 152 and 153 is the Shema, followed by the Ve'ahavta. I invite you to prepare yourselves as you need to say these words of Torah. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meudecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha b'derech Uvshachbecha, uvkumecha, ukshartam leot ayadecha, behayula totafot beinenecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. Ve'man tizkeru, va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiyot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohim. You may be seated. We continue together on page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. That there is a better place, a promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi chamocha neder bakodesh. Nora tehilo Joseph ele, Nora tehilo Joseph ele. Malechutecha Adonai, Imloch le'olam va'ed. Mi kamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha neder bakodesh, nora tehilo tosef ele, nora tehilo tosef ele. V'ne'emar kipad Adonai et Yaakov, v'lo mi'ad chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, Ka'al Yisrael. Page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 162. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. We come now to the central portion of our evening prayer. The Amidah begins on page 164. And remember, now that we are past Simchat Torah, we have officially made the switch from Morid Hatal back to Mashiv Haruach Morid Hagashem in the second blessing on page 168. So look out for that. And now please prepare yourselves as you need for the Amidah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zocher chastei avot v'imahot, u'mevig ula livnei v'neihem, v'ma'an shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Abraham Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol, atah rab lehoshia. Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, mechalkel chaim bechesed, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומיתו מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. You may be seated. And we continue together on page 173. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from the shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of the living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answers to our prayers. And there may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avod. Page 177. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot. Page 178. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol Shalom, ki atahu melech Adon, lechol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. v'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol et uvechol sha'ah bishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch Ata Adonai, Hamivarech et Amo Yisrael, B'Shalom. We take a moment now for silent prayer. You might use the words on pages 180 and 181, or the meditations of your own heart. Yehiyu l'ratzon imrei fi v'hegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, v'goali, v'goali. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, Adonai, our rock and redeemer. We turn our thoughts now to those who are ill and in need of prayers for healing. We have on our Misha Berach list this week Ricky Grant, Mary Kennedy, Edith and Norman King, Skip Brace, Denise Logan, Ruth Brenner, Ron Ely, John Kaur, Rosalind Cantu, Peter Winkler, Karen Thompson, Dean Ashley, Ivy Bells, Bernard Strassner, Sharon Buell, Jean Walker, Louis Perlman, Eileen Milner, Mike Haug, Bill Brooks, Ellen Simmons, Brianna Campbell, Josiah Pendleton, Denise Smith, Lori Perry, Scott Platts, Dave Avery, Kathy Brace, Bob Sparkman, Nikki Rubel, Celie Sarah Batfrumadina, Gail Garifo, Nancy Kronig, Cheryl Maniho, Seal Honig, Debbie and Paul Nicely, McKenna Heiss, Opal Young, and Nick Joliot. And we're still praying for the rebuilding of those in the aftermath of Hurricane Florence. We know Temple Israel of Wilmington, which is a sister congregation with us in the Reform movement, has suffered a lot of damage, and they're really struggling to put their congregation, their synagogue, back together. So we hold them in our prayers as well. The Misha Berach is on page 371. Oh, and if anyone else has a name they'd like to share at this time, please do so. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu who blessed the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebera imotenu Mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We also pray for the health and safety of all those in our community who are active military duty, first responders, and peacekeepers, those around the world whose jobs are dangerous so that our lives might not be. We have on that list Oni Hinnanen, Joshua Ehrlichman, Martin Brown, Richard Rubino, Howard Mergler, Kyle Smith, Andrew Booth, Joseph Cald, Daniel and Bridget Stambowski, many members of the Nemero family, Pete Abelson, Jeremy Sharkey, Benjamin Hurd, Alexander Furman, Daniel Gilman, Curtis Miller, Rob Apgar, Ben Farrell, and Caleb Menzies, and of course all those in the armed services and on ships at sea that tune in and watch us via our live stream. May the one who blessed our fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and our mothers Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless those who are serving in our armed services. May God guard them and keep them from harm. If they find themselves in danger's path, may God bring them back whole of mind and body to all those who love them. May it be your will, Adonai Tzebaot, to lead them to safety and to protect them from each and every enemy and ambush. May God make their journey successful and guard their going out and coming in with mercy and love, and let them be blessed to return home with life and peace now and forever. And let us say, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Was that the paper? Who knew paper can make such a loud noise? Anyway, so as you know, at the end of the month, we have this amazing program coming up, fantastic Jewish beasts, and where in the text to find them. And I've been so excited about this event, doing a lot of work figuring out what each of the age-appropriate breakout groups are going to do for their activities. My friend made us an awesome poster design. You can see there's a few around the synagogue, and I put them up online. And so it's been really hard for me in the last week or so to really concentrate on anything else. So all of this month's Divrei Torah are going to be about animals, mystical Jewish folklore, and or connections to the Harry Potter universe. So get ready for that. But luckily, it works really well this week and next. Next week will be Parsha Noah, so dovetails perfectly, pun intended, although not well delivered, with our second annual Blessing of the Animals in the Pet Memorial Garden. So next Saturday, weather permitting, of course, we will have a Saturday morning Shabbat service outside. Bring your pets if they are bringable. That doesn't apply to all pets, but you know, if it goes on a leash, take it here, and we'll have services up by the garden and have a blessing for your pets and a little blessing for those that are no longer with us as well, and an opportunity to purchase stones to put in the Pet Memorial Garden, and it will be really beautiful. But in the meantime, this week's Torah portion is the story of creation. So there we go. All of the animals are created this week. Parsha Bereshit has 2 chapters, and sort of the third. But Genesis 1 tells us the story of the 7 days of creation in which God made everything, and all of the animals specifically on the 5th and 6th day, in case you were wondering. Genesis 2 then tells the story of Adam, the first man. And seemingly, Genesis 2 and 3 really has a different order and purpose to the creation of the animals. And there are many theories on why this may be. There's academic theories about how each of these creation stories were written in different times and places by different tribes of Israel and passed down through their generations. And when it came time to canonize the Bible as we know it, both got put in so that, no tribe would leave the people of Israel. There are midrashim from the rabbis of the ancient times and medieval times about how this story tells about Lilith, the first woman, and this story tells about Eve, her successor. And this story teaches about the superior imagination of Adam over the angels when it came time to naming the animals, and the particulars of creating the world versus the Garden of Eden. Lots of ancient midrash on this. And last year, I taught a unit on midrash to the 7th and 8th graders at Gesher Jewish Day School and used this parsha as an example study. So we looked at some of the ancient and medieval midrashim I just mentioned, and then the students came up with theories of their own, some of which were really quite good. So one was that Genesis 1 is the overview, and Genesis 2 is the zoomed-in story about one particular place in creation. One theory was that the woman in Genesis 1, is created alongside man, but they're both kind of agender blobs. And then in Genesis 2 is when gender roles and sex differences as we know them today were created. So there's really a lot in this parsha for us to play with and create for ourselves, all within the parameters of the text, within following the ancient guidelines of how to build midrash. But there's one thing that all of the midrashists, ancient and contemporary, can agree on. One thing that Genesis 1 and 2 both have in common, and that is the unique power of divine creation, which is far beyond even the amazing powers of imagination and creativity that we humans have been imbued with. When God creates in Genesis 1, it is with words alone. God says, "Let there be," and there is. We for sure cannot do that. Even in Genesis 2, when the Torah tells us explicitly that man is created out of earth, that God has to mold humans somehow. And then the rabbis also say, oh, by the way, we know that from this, that means God did it to all the other animals too. It just doesn't tell you that. But when God breathes a soul into Adam, he becomes something entirely new. This first human is in the image of God, with a touch of the divinity of the angels, just some measure of the traits of each of the 10 Kabbalistic emanations of God, and all of the earthiness of the animals. What a creation! A creation that can go on creating, inventing names for all of the animals of the earth, and tending to the plants and creatures in the garden. And that's before he even tastes the fruit of the tree of knowledge. And yet, even after Adam and Eve eat the forbidden fruit and learn one more secret of creation, procreation, they are still limited in what they bring to life. And we are still limited in what we can bring to life. Unlike God, we do not speak creatures into physical being. And if we were to form a being out of earth and somehow speak it to life, it still has no soul. Even in our imaginations, in our traditions of mythical creatures, when we fathom how we might make a human-like being, it still is not a human. The golem is formed out of clay or mud or dust, just as Adam was. The golem is spoken into life by a divine word, just as Adam was. But the golem has no imagination, as Adam did. It has no ability to create more things for itself. It is soulless, thoughtless, capable of really only one thing, and that one thing, according to tradition, is in fact the opposite of creation. Its one thing is to destroy. It is created in times of trouble for the Jews and brought to life to destroy those who would destroy the Jews, but if not controlled closely, it can just keep on destroying blindly. It is a fantastic beast with great potential for benefit for its creators, but also great potential harm, without the ability to discern which of its actions does which, much like many other beasts, real and imagined. Humans, on the other hand, in being imbued with a soul and a unique, though limited, power of creation, should be able to discern the difference between help and harm. Therefore, we have a responsibility to help. When looking at options for actions, we must ask ourselves, does this action cause more pain for more people, or does it help alleviate the pain in the world? Very rarely is the answer to this question cut and dry, but that doesn't mean we ever stop asking it. This is our job, a part of the legacy passed down from that first human who was charged with the duty to care for the world, to tend to the creatures of all sizes and levels of perceived aliveness. May we take this job seriously and fulfill it with honor. And may we find that in doing so, we create a world of diversity and peace. Amen, and Shabbat Shalom. And now we turn toward our concluding blessings. So I'd like to call back up our Oneg families, the Savages, and Jeff Rubenstein, to open our ark for the Aleinu, which is on page 586. And everyone else can prepare themselves for the ark to be opened. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, Lated gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kagoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachabim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'nemar, V'haya Adonai, V'melech al kol ha'aretz, Bayom hahu, Yihyeh Adonai echad, Ushemo, echad. You may be seated. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us in body, but remain with us in spirit. This week marks a yahrzeit for Elaine Browner, Frederica Barnett Cohen, Dora Thaler, James Breeding, Judith Slater, Samuel Kavitsky, and Mildred Miller. And we are still within a year of mourning for Lee McCoy, Renee Adler-Kaplan, Norman Rosen, Tom Metzler, Rodney Smith, Amanda Chazen, Diane King, Alyssa Alhadef, Scott Beagle, Martin Duke Anguiano, Nicholas Dworet, Aaron Feiss, Jamie Gutenberg, Chris Hickston, Luke Hoyer, Kara Loughran, Gina Montalto, Joaquin Oliver, Elena Petty, Meadow Pollack, Helena Ramsey, Alex Schachter, Carmen Shentrup, Peter Wang, Neil Gilman, Karen Josephson, Dorothy McQuiston, Nick Ralston, and Elise Gibson. If anyone else has a name they'd like to share this Shabbat, please do so. The Mourner's Cottage is on page 598. Mourners and those who wish to join them may rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha barichu. Ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlam araba min shemaya, v'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromad, hu ya'aseh shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Please be seated. Oseh shalom b'mromad, hu ya'aseh shalom alenu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. At this time, I would like to call up our president, Alec Levy, for some announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi Liz. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Rabbi Liz, thank you for leading us in a wonderful service, and thank you for your creative sermon. Thank you to the Rubenstein and Savage families for the wonderful oneg that we'll all be enjoying in just a few minutes. So, Sunday there will be religious school at 9:30, and at 1:30 we start the adult education, the Book of Daniel. Next Friday night, October 12th, 6:30 p.m., the return of Tat Shabbat, and 7:30 our Shabbat services. As the Rabbi said, Saturday at October 13th at 10 o'clock in the morning will be the Shabbat Noah service. Bring your animals, weather dependent. If it rains, with all the rain we've had previously, perhaps we all should sit down and start making plans for an ark. And then Sunday the 14th, again, religious school, and then again at 1:30, the Book of Daniel adult education. Friday, October 19th, there'll be a pre-Shabbat sing-along at 6:30, and then again Shabbat services at 7:30, and then Sunday the 21st, religious school at 9:30, and adult education, Book of Daniel at 1:30. Friday, the 26th of October is a family Shabbat led by the religious school, featuring uniforms. That Shabbat will start at 7 o'clock, not at 7:30. So again, that's the 26th of October. Shabbat starts at 7 o'clock, not 7:30. Sunday, the 28th, is religious school at 9:30, and at 11 o'clock, there's that fantastic Jewish beasts and where the text to find them. And as Rabbi said, there's posters around the synagogue, and it should be quite interesting. And then finally, Friday, November 2nd, Shabbat service will be joined by WRJ Mid-Atlantic, and that service will start at 8 o'clock, not at 7:30. So again, October 26th, Shabbat starts at 7. November 2nd, Shabbat service starts at 8. That's all I've got for tonight. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Is the sisterhood camp? What's that?
October 21st, we're going to get some for a meeting. We're going to start at 3. We're having a speaker from the others to address us on the upcoming election in November.
So we have a lot going on. You thought that the Chagim were over and now it was going to be a quiet month, but that's not how we do it here at Ner Shalom. So our closing song tonight is going to be God Bless America on page 680. You might have heard me tell this story before. A couple years ago I learned that this song was inspired by the songwriter's mother. Of course, the song is written by Irving Berlin. Great Jewish songwriter, didn't just write Christmas carols, also wrote patriotic tunes. And his mother, being a Jewish woman, immigrated from somewhere in the Pale of Russia, or the Pale of Settlement controlled by Russia, worked very hard in this country, sewing and cleaning, all the kinds of things that immigrant women did to put food on their tables. And no matter how hard it was in the tenements, as she scrubbed those floors or sewed some rich lady's dress, she would say, "God bless America," because at least here she was free. And so sometimes it's nice to remember that no matter what else is going on, at least here we are free. So, God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. There's a reason they make that song for every musical audition, because gosh, that high note.